trauma can make it to where, you won't live because, you stuck in replaying what happened to you. So, I really want to try to make this video hoping that it can bring insight to maybe your trauma to where it can be a process of healing, because a lot of times people can go their whole entire being here on earth holding on to the trauma that got them reliving that event time and time again, when it is possible to still live a productive life and to let it go. So let me get in my truck and we can dive into this topic. So this is a touchy subject because when you're talking about something that somebody been through, that's real touchy because people, they hurt. People really hurt, and especially if you talk about something dealing with like rape. Hold on for a second. Okay. I gotta get myself situated so I can go and not lose anything while doing it. So let me put my stuff down and then we can talk about this ouch real quick. But yeah, man, like I said, trauma comes in different forms, and like I said, it's countless forms of what it come in. So it's really no point for me to go on about the forms. I want to really go on about ways that you can deal with it, because you can. Because for the most part, everybody here on this earth done been through some type of trauma. It's just that some people been through more than others, and I know I can touch on it because I done been in a domestic violent relationship. I felt like a lot of times in my life that nobody cared, so I always went through abandonment issues. So that's why I can touch on it. Like I say, any video that I make, I try to touch on it because I have experience in it, and the way I deal with it is, and the way I've learned, because I did some research on it, to deal with your trauma is to feel the feelings that you should have to feel. Like, go through the motions of what you feel about the situation that happened. And it can be real ugly. It's not going to be something that is pretty. It's not going to be something that feels good. You have to really go through the motions of accepting the feelings behind the situation that happened. And a lot of times when you going through trying to heal from trauma, you have to make sure you have a great support system, because depending on how bad your trauma was, you won't, you can do it by yourself, but it's not recommended, because you're going to need, especially if it's something that made you feel like, you want to cry. Sometimes it can get so bad to where you might get suicidal and you want to kill yourself. So when you're going through the healing process, make sure you have a great support system, whether it's your mother, your sister, your friend, your husband, your wife, your children. Have somebody trustworthy there that can guide you through this healing process. So like I said, while you have your support system, like, sit there, because a lot of times the reason why I said sit there and feel what you need to feel is because a lot of times people block those feelings and they go into numbness to where you won't let yourself feel what you should have felt when the situation happened as far as emotions. Because a lot of times people don't want to cry, especially when they got that tough mentality, so they'll hold back crying, or they feel like they weak of a person if they let their tears flow, which is not true. Or they feel like it's wrong for them to feel that that situation was wrong because maybe you start to blame yourself for why it happened. Don't do that. Don't go into blaming yourself. Always try to realize, why things happen, and just realize that a lot of times there was nothing you can do about it, and that, you just have to accept that it happened, leave it at the back door, and move on. So, I gotta charge my phone. But, you have to deal with, your hurt, because, a lot of times, we'll be sitting in just turmoil when you don't have to. Like, especially, dealing with some things it'll replay itself. And then if you have triggering events, like, let's just say, for instance, with a rape victim, if somebody's been molested, anything, they can end up having relationship problems, because they might feel like that every guy they meet is a potential rapist. So they'll never really have a fulfilling relationship, because they treat every man as if he's out to hurt them, or the man might treat every woman as if she's out to molest them, maybe like whoever did, what mistreated them. So this topic truly is something truly deep that I might not have enough time to cover, because I have to get ready to go. But like I said, get a support system, whether it's counseling, your mama, your brother, your sister, your kids. Have somebody there to, if you gotta cry, for them to hold you through the pain. Have somebody where you can talk to them about how you feel. That's another way of processing emotions too. You have to talk about it. And a lot of times it can be really hurtful to talk about it, because there's a lot of things, even though I know I'm pretty open with you guys here on YouTube, but there's a few things that I can't talk about just yet, because I don't think I've even dealt with some of my trauma that I still kind of hold on to. But at the end of the day, if you are going to have a life, and if you are going to be able to live prosperously, if you're going to be able to live with true happiness in your soul and in your heart, you have to leave these traumas in the past, where that is the past. Because a lot of times you carry these things, and it's not your fault. Sometimes you might not know how to deal, and you might not even know that you're carrying that burden in your future today with you. You could be holding on to your trauma right now as I'm talking to this camera. I mean, right now, whoever's looking at this and they got something that they've been through, right now you probably thinking of something that happened, and you can't stop replaying it. And right now you might want to cry. Right now you might feel like, that how she know what I'm going through? Because it's really an epidemic of it. I mean, this world is so full of evil, it's so full of hate, it's so full of people that don't care about nobody, that's too easy to know that everybody got something that they're going through, been through, and haven't let it go. And a lot of times, you can end up mistreating people, you can end up missing your blessing, because you don't realize that you holding on to it. So I'm gonna have to make a part 2, and I'm going to make a part 2 because I have to get ready to go. But I'm here to tell you that it is possible to move on, because I've moved on a lot from a lot of things I've been through, and every day I'm working on myself. That's why y'all see me so passionate when I talk about things of a personal aspect, not just trucking, because I'm telling you, just like everybody got a story to tell, I have a story to tell. And unlike everybody else that don't want to talk about it, I'm going to talk about my junk, and hopefully it can help the next person to realize that you don't have to stay in the closet, or you don't have to stay silent. You don't have to live in pain. You can overcome it. If I can, you can. I haven't fully overcame, but I'm overcoming. And you know what? As you live through life, you will learn that life is a living process. You will never fully learn and know everything. Everything is just do better today than you did yesterday, because each minute should be a minute that you are building yourself up for the better, not tearing yourself down for the worse. Because things can seem so bleak that you don't even care if you live or die. And that's sad, because every life is worth living. Your life is worth living. It's gonna hurt, baby. Nobody, no. And it's kind of gonna bring tears to my eyes, because I get really sentimental when it comes to people that hurt. And I really hate that this world is so evil, like, it'd just be nice if people could learn to be better people, to where they can help people. Like, nobody deserves to be beat on. Nobody deserves to get murdered. Nobody deserves to get raped. Nobody deserves these things, but people do it every day. No child deserves to get molested. No child deserves to be neglected. No child deserves to be abused. And it's just sad, That's why I make these videos, to hopefully wake your minds up to realize this. Do your part in the world. You might can't, and I know I can't help or heal everybody, but I'm doing my part to where at least I am one step closer to being a better person on this earth. But can you look in the mirror at yourself and start with you today? Can you? I can. We all can. And that's another problem today. My thing is, if we came together as a people, as a human race, not black, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican, if we all on this earth as living beings came together as a human race, there would be nothing that nobody could do, because we got more of human race people coming together fighting against the iniquities, against the equalities, against the evil. But enough of y'all too scared to do anything about nothing. It has to be something that has to be done about trauma, because in today's world, it's not going to get better. It's getting worse. Anytime the government, I ain't going to say I don't claim that dude as no type of president, but anytime that guy in the White House is able to pull children away from their families, what kind of crap? Now that's definitely trauma. I don't care if they from another country or whatever, if they immigrants and they just wanted to come to America for a better life for them and theirs. What gives this guy in the White House the right to pull children from mothers and from fathers and to separate them, and then don't even know where they're at? Like, people started to protest against that, and now they got to do something where they reunify children back with parents, but it's 700 and something children that they don't know where they're at. They don't know where the parents at, so they can't even reunify them, because they don't even know where they're at. That's modern day slavery, man. That's what was happening back in the slave times, breaking families apart. So, this is always a deep video, and I'm not intending it to be depressing or anything of that nature. But there's a lot of things in this culture and in this world that needs to be touched on. And I'm tired of sitting back, not saying nothing about it. And like I said before, there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it. So this is one video today, and I'm going to do a part 2. So time is the essence, everyone. Let's love each other, not judge each other, because I never judge y'all. And at the end of the day, it's time for you to live. Whatever happened to you, baby, I'm sorry about it. But you're going to have to deal with it. Feel how you should have felt. Process your feelings. Get your support. And move on. And let's live. So, stay tuned, my lovely